I welcome us to this learning by WB Analytics. In this video, we'll be learning how to run correlation and regression analysis using Microsoft Excel. This is necessary because you may want to measure the strength of a relationship between two or more variables, or you may want to find out if a given variable, say y, can be explained by another variable, say x. To do this, we'll be using the data analysis tool to perform this task. Please click on the subscribe and like button to get notifications for more videos. Also share your thoughts in the comment section below. So these are sets of data, the historical stock index for NSE 30, S&P 500, NASDAQ 100, and Dow Jones Industrial Average, gotten from 1st of January to 31st of May 2020. All right, so we'll be analyzing this data, finding the correlation between one against the other, and also performing the regression analysis for our various use. So I want to find out if I can monitor the NSE 30 index by looking at the performances of the S&P 500, NASDAQ 100, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average. All right. So first of all, I'm going to run my correlation. To do that, I have to come to my data tab, which is already active. So at the end, I'll see my data analysis too. All right. But if you can't find this in your Excel, you can bring it up by clicking on the File menu. You select Options. You click on Add-ins. Then you select the Analysis to Pack. Okay, for me, it's already active. That's why it's here. So if it's not, look for Analysis to Pack. All right. Then you come down to Manage. Make sure that this box has Excel add-ins. If it's not, you select and pick the Excel add-ins. Click on Go. Then here you can then select the Analysis to Pack. So once you select it, like selecting others, you select it and you say OK. So it brings up the data analysis too. So from here, we can run our correlation and regression. So to do that, I simply click on the data analysis too. So I will look for correlation at the top end of the window. I'll select correlation. I'll say OK. So it brings out the correlation window for me. So I will not select my input range. So my input range is simply the NSE 30 down to Dow Jones for the entire period. All right, so this we've already selected. Then my data is grouped in columns. I leave it here. Then my output range. So I want my output range to be in this sheet. So I'll come and select where I want my output range to be. Say I want it here. All right, so the next thing for me to do is to click on the OK button. Yeah, so I'll expand this a little bit. So this is my correlation between one stock index against the other. So here it's the stock, the correlation of one, and one because it's being correlated against itself. So when you find the relationship between itself, it's always one. But when you find the relationship between another, it can take a value ranging from -1 to +1. All right, and the closer your correlation coefficient move towards one means that there is a very strong relationship between the variable you are comparing against or trying to find the relationship with. All right, so for NSE 30 against the S&P 500, there's a very strong correlation relationship as that's 0.847, which is closer to 1. For NASDAQ 100 is at half of the relationship, is not that strong. Then the Dow Jones Industrial Average is still strong as well. All right, so from here you can see that the relationship is positive because it's not negative, which means that as the NSE stock index increases, we expect a corresponding increase in S&P 500, NASDAQ 100, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average. All right, so we can also correlate S&P 500 against NASDAQ 100 and Dow Jones Industrial Average, and also NASDAQ 100 against the Dow Jones Industrial Average. All right, so this is our correlation. We can then use it for the purpose for which we want the results for. The next thing we do is to find out the regression. Given that our NSE 30 is the dependent variable, we want to find if S&P 500, NASDAQ 100, and Dow Jones Industrial Average can explain the movement in our NSE 30. All right. To do that, I would go back to my data, click on Data Analysis. This time, I will now select Correlation. I'll scroll down. Sorry, I'll now select Regression. So I'll scroll down, select Regression. I'll say OK. So here it says I should select the Y range. So our Y range is the NSE 30. Click on my to pick the Y range. All right, so I've selected my Y range, which is the NSE 30. Return back to the window. I will now select my X range. So S range, if you are regressing against one independent variable, you can just select the column for the one independent variable. But in this case, we have three independent variables trying to explain our NSE 30 stock index. I'll click to select the data. Select from the NSE 500 down to the Jones Industrial Average. Return back to my window. So I can set the confidence level, which is at 95, which is kind of the norm with 5% significance level. But you can adjust this based on the requirement of your statistics. And we can bring in our output range into the particular Excel that I want the results to show in this particular Excel. So I'll select my output range to be around, so I want my results to show here. So I'll select there, go back to my dialog box. I'll click OK. All right, so we now have our results from this relationship or regression analysis. So here you can see the regression statistics, where you have your multiple arrow, which is your correlation, which is very strong, closer to 1, and it's positive. You have your arrow square, which is your coefficient of determination, which means that these three independent variables strongly explain the NSE 30 by about 83%. We have our adjusted arrow, we have our standard error, and our number of observations. All right, so we have our coefficient as well. Let me expand this. Standard error, T statistics, the p-value, and our confidence intervals. All right, so with this, we can then use this results output in our various objective in which we want to make either a forecast and estimate. We can then apply these results in doing all of that. All right, so I thank you for your time. If you have learned a thing or two from this Excel video, kindly click on the subscribe and like button to get notifications for more video, and you can also share your comments in the comment section below. Thank you for listening.